Always follow good safety and industrial hygiene practices during handling and use of all products. Please take necessary precautions and wear the appropriate personal protective equipment known as PPE as needed. Read safety data sheets, referred to as SDS sheets online, and read related literature on the products before use. When plaster is mixed with water, these materials will harden and become hot very quickly. Do not, I repeat, do not attempt to make a cast in contact with or enclosing any part of the body using this material, as this is dangerous and could result in serious burns to the skin and serious injury.
Hello and welcome to USG Plaster Talk. Now that you have picked your USG product and know the consistency of that product, then you're ready to mix. If you're not sure of the product or consistency, I advise watching the other Plaster Talk videos on these topics. Mixing questions are the most received question to me and others at the USG Industrial Products Division. In this video, I will demonstrate best practices for mixing that have been developed by USG over the years. The techniques I will show you have been proven to provide the best performance for all of our products. Are you ready to get started mixing? Before we start mixing, let's make sure you have all the right tools on hand.
Before getting into the mixing process, make sure you have all the right tools on hand. PPE, personal protective equipment, weight scale, timer, scoop, cake frosting spatula or equal, small mixing bowl, bucket of wash water, high-walled bucket. The bucket size recommended depends on the amount being mixed. For small amounts, USG recommends a bucket similar to a concrete test cylinder, or for larger amounts, use a 5-gallon bucket. Buckets need to be clean and free of debris. High-speed drill, Hansen plunge mixer. The mixer should be a third of the size of the bottom of the bucket, clean and free of debris. Clean, room temperature water, potable, free of additives is preferred. Mold release, a mold. The silicone rubber molds that I will be using are made from Smooth-On's Mold Star 16 from Reynolds Advanced Materials. There may be other mold making materials that will work well for you as well. Welcome to USG Plaster Talk. Today I'll be discussing plaster mixing. Mixing questions are probably one of the most received inquiries by USG. In this video, we will demonstrate the best practices for mixing as developed by USG over the years. The techniques you'll see today have proven best performance for all USG products. So let's get started. First, you want to turn on the scale. Make sure it's tared out. Next, we're going to put 15 pounds of product into this bucket. Set that bucket aside. Next, you're going to have another clean bucket. Make sure your scale is clean. Make sure the scale is tared to 0. Weigh out your water. Now let's get your molds ready. First, you want to make sure your molds are free and clear of debris. After you've inspected them and they're free and clear of debris, you want to spray them with a good mold release. Some new mold manufacturers have products that do not require mold release. Please refer to your mold manufacturer for specific recommendations. Are you ready to start mixing? Next, have your timer set to 0 and ready to go. Start the timer and begin sifting your plaster into the water. By sifting, USG means using your fingers and raking the plaster into the bucket of water. Try to get the plaster into the bucket of water within the first 30 seconds of the timer. Once you have finished sifting the plaster into the water,
USG recommends letting the plaster soak in the water for 2 minutes for most products. Now we're ready to mix. Using a Hansen plunge mixer has worked well, but other mixers are acceptable as long as they add enough mix energy. With the Hansen plunge mixer attached to your drill, place the drill into the bucket. Start the drill slow to get all the product into the slurry. This usually takes about 15 seconds. Tilt your drill down toward the top edge of the bucket and begin with full speed mixing. Make sure the mixer is forcing the slurry downward, but avoid creating a vortex. A vortex will cause too much air to be introduced and trapped into your mix. Proceed to mix for 2 minutes. Once you have finished mixing, remove the drill and let the mix rest for 30 seconds. This will allow air bubbles to rise to the top and escape. Always keep cleanup water to clean your tools after mixing. Now you're ready to pour in your mold. You'll want to pour slowly into the deepest part of the mold, letting your plaster slurry rise along the walls of the mold. This helps break surface tension to allow air bubbles to escape instead of being trapped along the surface of the mold. Avoid pouring rapidly into your mold. When you have finished pouring, tap on your mold to try to release any air bubbles that may have been trapped. Leave your mold undisturbed as it progresses through the set phase. When finished, clean out your bucket and finish cleaning the rest of your tools. Now I'm going to demonstrate a hand mix. First, we want to make sure your timer is set to 0. We want to weigh out your plaster. Turn your scale on. Make sure it's taired. And we're going to measure out 200 grams. To finish off, we always use a little spatula to finish off the last weight. Now that that's 200, we set that aside. Next, you're going to take your mixing bowl, put it on the scale, tear it out, pour 66 grams of water. You're going to take your plaster, you're going to sift it in to your water and start the timer at the same time. As you can see, this is all done by weight. USG never recommends volume measuring as plaster has a variable density. Implementing the lake or island method is not recommended for optimal results. We're going to let that sit for 1 minute. Next, we're going to mix for 2 minutes. Hand mixing should be reserved for small batches under 1 pound. Once your product is weighed out, timer set, and product sifted into the water, you begin to stir. Based on our experience, we see the best results using a cake frosting utensil. And when using the hand mixing, you will need to stir 90 to 120 revolutions per minute. It is nearly impossible to keep accurate count, so mixing vigorously like this should give you the best desired results. Now it's ready to pour. Now it's been 1 to 2 hours. These molds are ready to demold. Thanks for watching USG Plaster Talk, and thanks for using USG products. Are you interested in learning more? Visit other Plaster Talk videos in this series to learn other commonly asked questions. For very specific questions, please call USG Customer Service or visit plaster.com or usg.com and click on Industrial Products.
Thanks for watching USG Plaster Talk, and thanks for using USG products.